Happy Wednesday, Algebra 2. Just think next time I see you, it'll be Friday. Let's go ahead and get started on this warm-up. With that, to solve for this first problem, all you got to do is take the square roots of both sides. So with that, we get b equals, now remember this, plus or minus the square root of 90. Now here's the thing, we can break apart that 90. Okay, go with the basic 10 and 9. Now I happen to know that 9 breaks down into buddies. Okay, so with that, my buddies go outside. 3. My single 10 stays inside. My answer b equals plus or minus 3 square root of 10. Over to number 2. Before we can take square roots, we need to subtract 7 on both sides. So with that, I get that r squared equals 63. Take the square root of both sides. Now this is not a perfect square, but I happen to know that 63 breaks down into 9 and 7, and 9 is a perfect square. So with this, I end up with r equals plus or minus 3 square root 7. On number 3, get rid of that addition subtraction first because it's a minus 6. I'm going to plus 6 on both sides, and I get negative 9v squared equals negative 91. Now with that, I'm going to divide by negative 9 on both sides, and what happens there, that does not come out nice and pretty. So we're going to say v squared equals 91 over 9. Now that changes to a positive because it is a negative divided by a negative. Square root both sides. Square root of 9 breaks out nicely, so we've got v equals plus or minus the square root of 91 over 3. And then lastly, over here on number 4, we're going to start by getting rid of that minus 5, so we're going to plus 5 on both sides. And we get that 6m squared equals 180. Divide both sides by 6, and we get that m squared equals 30. Square root both sides. 30 breaks down to, ouch, my eye, sorry, 10 and 3. That breaks down into 2 and 5. All of those are singles. Ain't nothing go together, guys. There are no buddies here, so this goes back to m equals plus or minus the square root of 30. Hope we're doing okay so far. Let's go on to the next 4 or more. On this section, I ask you guys to factor. So with this, on this first one, there are no numbers that I can divide out, but we got m's that can come out. The biggest m I can take out is this single one here, so when I do that, I end up with an m squared minus 64. Now this is a perfect, well, not a perfect square, it is a difference of squares. So this becomes m plus 8 and m minus 8. If you weren't able to see that, we could always say multiply our outside numbers together. That's negative 64. Drop down my b term. b in this case is 0. What are my two numbers that multiply to negative 64 but add to 0? Negative 8 and a positive 8. Okay, so m parentheses m plus 8, m minus 8. Over here on this one, multiply the outside, drop down the inside. This is also a perfect square, trinomial. My two numbers are negative 4, so we end up with x minus 4 squared. Yes, I know you guys are going to ask this already. If you said x minus 4 times x minus 4, I will accept either of those as an answer. Down here on number 3, factoring things out. I know I can divide out an 8, and I know I can take out an x since they both have them. I end up with 8x on the outside, and then x plus 10 on the inside. There is nothing to break apart. That is our final answer. On number 8, check it over. There's nothing we can divide. Multiply the outside, negative 30. Drop down the inside. My two numbers that can multiply to negative 30 but add to 7, that's going to be positive 10, negative 3. Now here's the big thing, guys. Don't forget you've got to divide by a, in this case, which is 10, and simplify. That 10 over 10 becomes a 1. Bottoms up, 10 minus 3, sorry, 10a minus 3 times a plus 1. Okay? So with that, that should be good enough for your, oh look, I've got more problems. Sorry guys. We got 2 more problems to go through, number 9 and number 10. On number 9 here, again, nothing to divide out. Multiply the outside, drop down the inside. My two numbers that multiply to 10 but add to 11. Come on, this one's easy. 10 and 1. Divide by a, divide by a. Simplify. 10 divided by 5 is 2. This cannot simplify, so take them to our parentheses. We've got p plus 2, and then with this 1 over 5, we bottoms up the 5 plus 1. And then number 9, when I check that over, I need to divide 2 out from that. So I end up with 3m squared minus 11m plus 8. Multiply the outside, drop down the inside. My two numbers that multiply to 24 but add to negative 11, that's going to be negative 3 and negative 8. Divide by a, which is 3. Not the old a, you divide by the new a of 3. My parentheses, because I factored out that 2, it has to be known still. Negative 3 divided by 3 gives me a negative 1, so I'm going to say m minus 1. Negative 8 divided by 3 does not simplify, so we bottoms up 3m minus 8. And that is our final answer. And because I know you guys are going to want a picture of the day, we will do picture of the day is a alarm clock, because this morning, well, I was late getting ready for work. I decided to snooze my alarm clock way too many times. And by today, I mean yesterday when I made this video. We may have already done an alarm clock, guys, and if we have, I apologize. Sorry, but I'm not really that sorry. Make your cute little alarm clock, put a top hat on it and a fancy little bow tie, and call it a day, folks. Good luck on your quiz.